Hello. So I was making videos on other platforms because I'm now starting to get engaged on other platforms. Not really from a perspective of trying to be super serious, but more so just having fun and expressing myself. And now I'm starting to kind of put the pieces together of why I was getting all those recommendations for put yourself out there, try something new. Stop fearing being seen, because I'm realizing that maybe I had a little bit of a fear of other platforms. But regardless, I want to talk because there's something that I was saying. I was watching this show. I'll give you the brief thing. I was watching this show called Girls on the Bus, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend it. The Girls on the Bus. But I was watching that show and I had an initial reaction, and that was a very strong emotional reaction. I ended up being wrong and feel totally differently in a really positive way. And it made me think about that reading that I did a while ago where I was talking about something having like red flags, but like giving it a chance anyways, and then it turning out great. And this is kind of like a variation. I don't know if they're actually the same message at all, but it feels like a variation of that kind of energy where it's like you've got this specific opinion about something, you think about something one way, and then you need to continue on the path of engaging with this thing because you might be happily surprised. Like there's this energy of being proven wrong and that being a really good thing, like that being a really positive experience that you have. And it could be super small, but it could be small, but like it still feels impactful because like I only began to notice this because it's been a pattern. I've had this happen with music. A song, well, two songs actually that I thought I didn't like, and then I kept listening to them and I really did like them. So I got a whole new perspective, and the other one I really got a new perspective after I listened to a full album. So there's something around giving something a chance, not canceling something out based off of your first impression. And what I added on when I was sharing that message on Instagram was the idea of not letting something go just because of your first impression and not considering that necessarily your intuition, not considering your first impression of something your intuition. I mean, you can consider it that if you want to, but maybe not letting that stop you from continuing on. And obviously, you're going to have to use your discernment and your boundaries. It always gets shaky when you're like, don't trust your first thought because, you obviously need to trust yourself and, yeah, use your own judgment. But there's something here, and so I wanted to dig into it a little bit and see if there was something that Spirit wanted to tell us. I don't know if there actually is, but I thought I would just ask, and then I was like, oh, I can share that message to YouTube. Yeah, okay, so the Tower has been coming out a lot. Like a lot. I've seen it today. I've had to have seen it at least like 2 or 3 times, which I consider a lot, especially for the Tower. So the Tower has been coming out a lot. I don't know exactly why, but we'll see. Let's see. What's this? The Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands was a part of today's daily reading. The Two of Wands also came out, I think, in regards to, it could have been a reading I did for my mom, or it could have been something completely different. Then we've got the Magician, 5 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, it did come out in connection to a reading that I did for my mom, which also that one came out too. The Star, Pentacles. Okay, hold on. So Spiraz, what is going on? What do you want to tell us? Higher self, what's the message here? Because we've got the Tower, okay, we have the Emperor. What's the message here? Oh, and we've got the Lovers. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. This is the night of our dear Savior's grace. I don't know why I'm singing that. Well, it was because I was like, but I don't know why that made me think of that song. I'm going to put this away. So, okay, anyways. So, let's look at this. We've got the Lovers, the Emperor, the Two of Wands, okay, and the, should I move you to this side so that you're not, like, so that you're not in the dark? Okay, yeah, that's better. We've got the Tower, the Two of Wands, the Emperor, the Lovers. Let's see. Oh, and I was looking at the astrology in 1616. Oh, that's like another confirmation of the tower. And that was a double tower, and that was Uranus. Uranus in what? Uranus in, hold on, I have it right here. Uranus in, move. In Pisces. No, sorry, not Uranus, Neptune. Neptune in Pisces, with 27 also being, what does the 27 mean? I don't know, but it's the degrees were 1616. Neptune, Pisces in Neptune. What does Neptune represent? Does anybody know? Oh, look. Pisces, mutable water, ruled by Neptune. Sensitive. Oh, it's ruled by Neptune. Oh, look at that. Pisces is actually ruled. Wait, hold on. I'm confused. Help, I'm confused. Okay. Yeah. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and it's in Neptune right now. What planet? What sign is Neptune in now? Pisces, so that's right. So Pisces is in its home planet. Interesting. What does Neptune represent? Well, what does Pisces represent? What does Neptune represent? Associated with the collective consciousness, idealism, dreams, fantasies, projections, undoing, dissolution. Well, undoing, that makes sense. Dissolution of the status quo, evolutions, artistry, empathy, illusion, confusion, vagueness on the ways of discovering universal truths. Interesting. Intuition, spirituality, compassion, dreams, and delusions, and illusions. Interesting. It's a very cold planet, like the bottom of the ocean, and it's blue. Okay, anyways. Ooh! Well, now that you look at this, don't you think about Neptune with the hands touching it? So I think this may have something to do with Neptune. Because look at this blue, too, and now her pants are blue, and then he's blue with the Emperor. The only thing that's not blue is the Lovers. Got some blue in there, but... Disillusionment. What does that mean again? Doesn't that mean like you were disillusioned? You were confused? Disillusionment. Bear with me. I mean, if you can bear with me through my long videos, this is probably normal. A feeling of disappointment resulting from the discovery that something is not as good as one believed it to be. Oh. Disappointment. I don't know, man. So it's all about satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. Oh, perhaps Pisces is coming through right now to knock, well, I wonder how long Neptune has been in Pisces, because I said on the 10th of March 2024 that there was going to be these fallaways to our spiritual systems because of like a dissatisfaction with the systems that govern us. And I wonder, if this has a connection to that. And I feel like with the tower here, it quite literally is like this energy of Neptune in Pisces coming in to kind of crack, crash, destroy the things that we live in, that we sink ourselves into, that we exist within, that destroy us, or that take our energy, that steal from us, or that leave us dissatisfied. It also feels like there's a bit of like a reclaim here. There's like a bit of a reclaim here. Perhaps like the Neptune within us is being reclaimed. There's lots of sixes here. I have been seeing 66 a lot. And then we've got that. Sorry, I'm just a little like, I don't know, man. Like, is there something for me to say? Because even though I can see the cards here, the Five of Cups is consistently coming out. As is the Six of Wands, it's kind of connected to my mom's reading. I can't get no satisfaction. If there's people in your life that can't get satisfaction, or that are just like demanding a lot from you and maybe can't seem to be able to receive, there are people who are struggling to receive from you even though you're giving, that could be a sign to let it go. Let them go. What this has to do with our original point, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that could be a sign to let them go. I can't. Hierophant. If you can't get no satisfaction, let me breathe. Let me be. I just heard, well, I just said in my head, null and void. You don't want to be looking at like an endless canyon of darkness, or be living in an abyss of darkness. You want to be living in the light. You want to be living in the sunset. You want to be living in the dream, you know? You don't want to be living in the dark. And if that's where you feel like you are, if you feel like you're looking into a void, that's not where you need to be looking. You want your sight to be filled with energy. Even if you're scared, you know, even if you're intimidated, as long as you feel alive, you know. But if you're looking at your reality, or if you're looking at someone, or you're looking at a situation, you're looking at a job, and you just feel empty, or you don't feel anything, or like there's nothing really showing up, and all you've got is all that you brought, and there's been nothing, you know, in return, or even like what you've been given isn't even being received, you know, it might be one of those situations where you gotta let it go. You only learn to love it when you let it go. And you let it go. But for real. I'm not quite sure though. I don't know what this has to do with any of the original points, but maybe it doesn't have anything to do with the original point. Could be taking a second look at something. The Wheel of Fortune. Well, the collective consciousness thing could be for real. Wow. Like for real, for real. And you can't feed someone who already has a lot and just doesn't want to use what they've got, you know? They've got all these empty cups, but they're right next to the ocean, and you know they're turned away from you. You can't feed someone who's got their back to you, who's covering their ears and closing their eyes and whining like a little baby. I was gonna say something else, but I didn't want to be disrespectful. What I was gonna say is whining like a little bitch baby. You know, no offense to the babies or the bitches, but. Yeah, you know, I think you can see quite clearly the change or the shifts that are happening, or that need to happen. I think you can see quite clearly that you might need to go, that you might need to leave something behind. And I think that's okay, even if it's hard. Yeah, your intuition could really be speaking to you right now. Could really be speaking. This could have just been the final test or the final draw, And now it's time. And even if someone learns that they loved you because they lost you, and they come to you with that realization, that doesn't necessarily mean that you gotta go with them, You can just take that closure and keep it pushing. But there is something here around accepting the ending, especially if someone else, set the table. And, especially if it wasn't even on your own terms, like you didn't ask for this ending. Let it happen and accept it and move on. Move away from the situation, move into your own energy. Seems like it's for the best. Unite with self. Lots of 11s here, lots of synchronicities here. Yeah, there could be the end of a cycle. I would look at where Neptune is in your chart. Like you could look at your birth chart, but you could also look at where Neptune is in your chart right now. Oh, well, would it be? Well, I guess you're looking at what house, right? You'd be looking at what house Neptune is, right? Hold on. I don't know a lot about the houses. That's something I could probably stand to learn more about when it comes to astrology. I feel like there's like some type of, there's definitely, wow, the tower really is strong. There's some type of turnaround. Turn the beat around. Da 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 da, passion. Turn it upside down. Let's feel it. Let's feel it. But the thing about it is that I would need to, I'm going to drop my birth chart. Just give me a minute. Transit chart. Let's pull up the transit chart. No, not for me. No, for me. Because I want to show you guys something. Hold on. So, my date of birth, I was born on July 14th. The year 2000. I'm not going to tell you my birth time, though. Hold on. So, yeah, and this is where we are right now. Yeah. And then it's actually not that minute. It's actually a little later than that. It's actually that. So just go ahead and do that. So Neptune right now for me, I was born with Neptune in Aquarius, right? Yes. But right now Neptune is in Pisces, okay? So Neptune has a square with my moon right now. Interesting. Oh, but it's also sextile my south node. Interesting. I feel like there was something around the past. Oh, yeah. I think I'm like processing in a healthy way the past right now. And I'm noticing that through my dreams. I guess that's why I've been having those dreams. Okay. Interesting. What is the vertex? So my vertex was in. Okay, I don't really know if this is for YouTube because I'm kind of not focused at all anymore. But I just wanted. Are these long terms? Oh, so Neptune is long term. In my ninth house, may be interested in spiritual teachings, metaphysics. Oh, well, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. If you are still studying, oh yeah, I do have set difficulty concentrating for long periods of time. I do long to be near water sources. How long is Neptune in this for me? Oh, well, it's just getting started. Well, okay then. I wonder how long it's going to happen for. Anyways, you guys, I mean, I don't really know like what this is, and I don't know exactly what I'm doing here. I don't know if I should even post this. I'm thinking I should start to create a schedule it's just hard because, well, it's not hard, but it's just like, because I just like to post something like as soon as I do it, because I'm like, what if the timing? But I also know that timing is like, is it a thing? Not really. But I still am like, oh, but what about the timing? I want to post it as soon as I do the thing, but I feel like I should get over that. So this is probably going to be entitled like a ramble, because I don't really feel like there are enough messages to justify like making the title super messagey. But perhaps you could just listen to this in the background while you're doing something. Maybe I'll title it something like, Listen to Me Blab While You Go Live Your Life. But how interesting would that be? The Hermit, the Death card. There's a niche on my nose, but there's nothing there. And then you're like, okay, but the angels are like some type of spirit. Oh, okay. It's not in any way that's scary, and it's not in any way that I can like I'm doing anything with it, but I think that I am starting to be able to pick up on spirits in a more like in a medium type of way, because I swear I will be seeing not things, but more so like flashes of forms of color, and not like auras. But I think that I'm starting to be able to pick up on medium type of things, but not in any way that I would be doing anything with it. But that's just something I've noticed, and it's not something that scares me, and it's not something that I want to explore in a work kind of sense, unless I'm really guided towards that, because I don't know anything about it, and I feel like that's something you should probably be like trained on or taught. But I think that that's interesting, and I do wonder if it's just a part of the astrology of the times, or if that's something that's a part of my life, or what. I don't know. I kind of have just left it alone, and I've just like noticed it but not engaged too much with it, because I figure if it's something that's meant to stick around, it will, and if it's meant something that's just passing through my life, then it'll just pass through. I've had that happen with other spiritual experiences, where like in the beginning of my awakening, which was like 2021 is when things really kicked off. So I had a period of time where I was basically in that state. I've never fully astral projected before, and I stopped myself a lot without realizing it completely in the very beginning of my awakening. When I had my first awakening, I guess I would say that awakening it's like an ongoing process, but really it does kind of have periods. And in the beginning of my first one that was very noticeable to me was in 2021. And whenever I would go to sleep, well, not every single time, but a lot of times when I would go to sleep, when I would wake up, or usually around like 3 a.m., so, like in the early mornings, usually before the sun was really, really up, I would be like pulled out of my body. And sometimes I could see like basically another realm, or what looked like a portal. Like one time I saw like what looked like a portal. Another time I like saw people, and like I was like in like a 1950s world, like from what's that show, WandaVision. It's like something like that. Another time, most of the time though, I really felt like I was leaving my body, and I was actively like, no. And I pulled myself back in. And that happened consistently for maybe like half a year. I don't even know timing. I don't even know, because I wasn't making videos that often, so I wouldn't be able to really date it. But that doesn't happen anymore. And so I realized that was like ascension symptoms. But like, yeah, it really was, because I don't experience that. So that's not like a part of my spiritual, like it's not like a gift or anything that I have, I don't think. I think it was just literally a part of like awakening. And it was really weird. And I didn't like it super well because I didn't know what was happening, and it was kind of freaky. But I'm happy though that I learned through that process that you're really in control of astral projection. Like, you can pull yourself back into your body. And I know that because I did it every single time. So I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, so I didn't go. And then one time when I went and I took a trip to Ottawa, and I stayed in this woman's house. And I don't know if she was already aware that but like, her house, either she or her house had a really strong energy, or maybe I was just in a phase. But I went to sleep that night, and I woke up, and I was like being pulled out of my body. I was seeing things, and my memory of it now is not at all clear, and I can't even really tell you. Like, I don't know. Like, now I feel like maybe I just saw like shadowy figures, but like, I don't even want to say figures, because it wasn't scary. It wasn't creepy. I wasn't scared ever. I was just like, oh, it was just a mess. And looking back, I'm like, wow, you were having like what they would consider paranormal experiences, but it wasn't scary. And I think that that's the thing that should probably be voiced a little bit more when it comes to like the mediumship things and like ghosts. I'm sure that some things are scary, but they don't have to be. It doesn't have to be terrifying. I would hope that for most people it really isn't. And yeah, there's just that. And then recently, I've been just feeling like those, like, the angel hairs things, like all over my body, not just on my nose, but just all over. And that's new, so I'm wondering if I'm going through an awakening again. I feel like it's one of those things where you look back and you're like, oh, you were going through an awakening. I don't know if I could tell in the moment, because it's all kind of vague and strange and weird, just like Dark Night of the Souls. Like, I'm still not sure if I've had one, because I feel like I probably have, and maybe I'm just too hard on myself in terms of what the symptoms are, or like what the signs are. Because at some point it just all kind of feels like life, especially after my like awakening. But I don't really remember. Like, I remember obviously life before waking up, but like not really. Like, my memory of who I am and of the world is so heavily based off of what's happened in the past like 2 years, and my timing has just, I don't have an accurate sense of time. And I think that's also paired with the pandemic. But just it's just really interesting how an awakening changes your life. And it really can't be prompted, because I would have never been able to predict that this is the path my life would lead down. Even though I've always been dreamy, I haven't always been this way. Like, the way that I am today is not, I would not say that I've always been like this. But then my sister is telling me today that some of the things that I thought that were kind of recent developments are things that I've always been like, which I was like, really? Because I don't remember that about myself. But again, maybe it's just, the way that your memory changes after an awakening, or like your understanding of time or who you are. I don't know. It's interesting though. None of it is bad. It's all interesting. Just a light in the darkness. Anyways, I don't feel like there's really a reading to be done. I think I was just, and I kind of had a feeling about that as I was trying to do the reading. I'm just curious, I guess, and so I was wondering if maybe there was something to say. Oh, well, look at that. We've got the Nine of Cups at the back of the deck. Always sweet. That one has been coming out quite a bit. And then we have the Six of Swords, the Three of Wands, and the Lovers. Again, the Lovers. It's so hard with the Lovers. It'll be very interesting the day that I meet, the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. Because these past few weeks, I've gotten to a point where I've met people that I could totally accept. Well, based off of what I knew at that point. And obviously I would need to get to know them more. but I'm not so like strict around like what it would mean or what it would feel like to meet my soulmate. I'm much more open-minded than I was like a year or two ago. So I've met people within the past like few weeks that I'm like, could this be? Could this be? And that's interesting because it really grounds the idea of meeting, your soulmate in real life. It's no longer something that I'm like, who is this mysterious alien? I'm like, they're going to be a human being. They're going to be a person that I'm going to meet in real life, and they're going to be a human, so they're going to have their things and I'm going to have my things, and it's not going to be like, or maybe it will be, but I'm not going to be disappointed if it's not straight out of a movie and if the first date isn't incredible or all these other things, which really takes the pressure off. And I definitely probably needed more than I'm willing to admit. And I feel so badly for my past self because I know that she like endlessly wants to meet her person. But I will say that I think probably timing is working out exactly as it should, even though I resent hearing that and saying that even because I'm just like, where are they? But, every time I get a little bit closer, what feels like a little bit closer, I'm like, okay, cool, with the timing, even though I'm still like, even right now, I'm like, where are they? It still ends up being fine, but it will be so interesting to meet them and know what they're like. So I think that's it. I think we can move on now. And I'm going back to watching The Amazing Race. I do wonder what the Six of Swords is trying to tell us, because that one's been coming out a lot today as well. There's a collective energy. It could be something collective that we're all just being affected by. Maybe it's the moon. Maybe I'll call this the moon rattlings. Okay, bye.